Bun ngut ki emily kaliang persya kila ra ya kamat ka bayadai per Jingeh jong ki Nonghikai ha ka jela kamtam ha bayadai per Palat ya ka Tulop kum she ki Nonghikai SSA. Ha bajuba balor ki Kali Menteri Ketanat Puli Putih rakam sangma kumju Menteri Rangpa Konrad sangma kila itu ba ka jela ka dan hadu rupsan hajar ngut ki Nonghikai ba ka pelut ru kumba hajar arspa Klur tingka Tang ka Tulop ya ki Nonghikai.
Speaker sir, the reply to state question number 64. Sir, the state government to ease the problem faced by the teacher has been taken into consideration the following steps. Number one, sir, approve the Meghalaya state education policy by the cabinet on 28th September 2018.
If it can be, the answer is very long here. If it can be in the table of the House, so that we can ask further questions.
It's already placed on the table.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. I've seen that most of the questions that I was supposed to ask were answered here. But there are a few clarifications which I need to ask from the Minister in charge and the government. Whether the government has any intention to have a policy to create a special fund in order to avoid delay for the payment of salary to the teachers in case the government of India delay releasing of fund, especially to the SSA teacher.
Sir, the matter we have examined and necessary step is being taken.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Speaker, sir, I will add another supplementary question. Whether the state government has any intention to bring a policy to have an equal pay for equal work to the teachers. I have seen here from the reply, 8, the government will ensure the teachers' salary conform to a minimum skill workers norm. So may I ask whether we have the SSA, the ad hoc, the improved system, whether do the government have the policy for equal work, for equal pay for the teachers in the state?
Sir, Meghalaya has the most complex categories of teachers that we have. So Meghalaya has above 65,000 teachers in the state. So as of now, sir, the matter is being examined. But sir, to bring the equal pay structure is very challenging for the state financial health. So as and when, sir, if the financial health of the state government is okay, sir, I think we can examine it better. But as of today, it's no, sir.
Mr. Speaker, I have further questions. As per the answer, rationalization of school, especially with regard to unavailable schools, surplus schools, low enrollment schools, zero enrollment, single digit enrollment, single teacher schools. Now, some of the schools I've seen, especially in the village, the number of students is very less. And in fact, the school is totally unproductive. And hence it is a waste of public money. What is the policy of the state government on such type of schools?
Sir, the point that raised by honorable member is very true, sir. Sir, the village where I live now, I have every data and I have every information. It is true, sir. The numbers of schools having very low enrollment. And this is the matter of concern. And sir, it matters, it affects on the quality of education. Yes, sir, we cannot say surplus of school, but there are schools, be it a government office school, be it a SSA. So I don't know, sir, what went wrong and what did happened. Because there are many school children is not going to the schools not taking admission in the government school. It's nearby at the locality. And there are many SSA schools, there are many government LP schools whose enrollment is below 10. So after the rationalization of the teacher is also taking place in some of the district, in some of the location, but it's not easy. There are many resistance from the locality as well, and also from the teachers itself. So may I also would like to request to all the members of this House also, sir, I think so everybody should contribute on this exercise, because the quality matters, sir. So there are teachers, their school which have more number than the students. So closing of that school is not easy, sir. I think we have to take confidence of the locality, of the teacher, sir. I think, sir, after the constitution of the Meghalaya State Education Commission, we are going to reach to the depth of the issue, depth of the problems, and so we will, after constitution of the Meghalaya Education Commission, we will take into this consideration, and so we will take all this matter seriously, sir.
Thank you, Minister. Teachers are the backbone of the society and shaping and molding the students and the society at large. Almost every year, the price of the commodities had keep on rising. Now, but the salary of the teachers for the last 3-4 years, the increase of the salary in the 3-4 years almost remained the same. Now, may I know from the minister in charge whether the state government has the capacity to increase the salary or keep some increment to the teachers every year?
So only in the last year, in 2022, government has decided and has enhanced the salary of the adult and all the categories of the teacher except SSA, sir. And the government is examining, taking the teachers on our priority, how we can give the maximum assistance to the teacher, because as you said, sir, it's a pillar of our society, and it's the one who prepare the human engine for the growth of our nation, sir. So government has already enhanced the salary of adult, the for teacher, and even the cook come helper, and all category of this only in the last year, sir.
Yes, Pak Aden, please.
I of the Honorable Minister in this 264.2 that the state government shall constitute the Education Commission. So may I know when do we expect for the government to come up with the state with the state education commission and start its exercise for these prescribed conditions?
Sir, the search committee has already in the process, and so we are very soon. I think the matter will be coming to the light, sir.
So, may I know how soon it will be?
Sir, it will be very difficult to give the timeline, but I think the maximum within a month, sir.
Okay. Rini, please. Rini.
Very specific question which directly relates with the problem of teachers as it has been asked. Sir, much has been asked about the single digit student, 2-digit, or even no student. But I want to ask a question. For those schools who are performing well, who have lots of students, and who are also among the best schools in our locality, but they face the problem now, the teachers face the problem because of the resignation of SSA teachers. I think our Honorable Minister, he was himself a teacher. He knows this very well, that there are schools who are performing to the best in the locality, and it was known by everybody. I can name the example of school at Mokorwat, Nativity School. It was one of the best school and is suffering now because the teachers, SSA teachers, resigned for the good reason that they get a better privilege, and they resigned from the job. And now they are not able to appoint any other teacher in their place. So I want to know from the mind of the government how to address with this problem, how to solve this problem to ensure that the problem of teacher in those schools where 4 or 5 teachers is required and they have now only 1, 2 due to resignation is addressed.
Sir, coming back to the same point as we have said earlier, so this is a matter of concern for not only the school where of his area, sir. There are certain number of schools, but to be frank, sir, to me, sir, the schools which is performing well, I think, sir, we should take care of that school. So, with that particular school, sir, as the government has already decided to rationalize the schools where the low enrollment is. But, sir, having said so, sir, it's a very challenging exercise. So I think, sir, after the constituents of the Education Commission, and also with due process and exercise, sir, I think, sir, we would like to assure you, sir, I think what the particular that school our Honorable MLA has mentioned, sir, I think that has to be, I will take note, sir, and we will examine whether to appoint a teacher or to bring teacher from other school where there is a low enrollment, sir.
Speaker, sir, not only one school, actually, I'm just quoting one name. Otherwise, I've got the list of schools, performing schools, who are facing the problem of teachers, of no teacher this time. I'll give you the list. I'll give the list to the Honorable Minister of all the schools.
Sir, the reply be copy paste.
Dr. Mizanu. Wait.
Mr. Speaker, sir.
Bryce Sarwell, I think he has first raised his hand, so I'll give it.
Mr. Speaker, sir, the Honorable Minister in charge Education has replied that as and when the financial position is okay, the problem will be solved. So I would like to know as to when the financial position is going to be okay. Thank you, sir.
So, Speaker, so it is beyond imagination. So, it's not easy. It's a very, very tough challenge for the state because, as we know, sir, our state is a very low revenue generated state. So it's purely depend on the financial health of the governments. Financial health of the governments. So it's very difficult to explain when it will be, sir.
Because, sir, since this is an important issue, and a lot of people are concerned, it's important to understand where the reply is coming from. So the education sector, as I had mentioned in my budget speech, that approximately 2,700 crores is budgeted this year. Out of the 2,700 crores, 2,200 crores are spent only on salaries of teachers. And hence, today, even for us to tweak even a 10 rupees or a 15 rupees or 100 rupees increase in the salary has an impact of hundreds of crores because we have 65,000 teachers. Hence, the scale at which we are looking at is, as mentioned by the Honorable Minister, is unimaginable, sir. So we are looking at the impact going to anything between 500 to maybe even 2,000-3,000 crores of additional impact on the system and the finances of the state, depending on the decision that we take. So it's not as simple. If it is a matter of few crores or even a few hundred crores, we are able to then look at the situation and decide. But the kind of impact that's going to be there on the entire system to be able to come up with a uniform pattern is unimaginable. So we're talking of thousands and thousands of crores. So that's the issue that is there. And hence, it's not very easy for the state government, though we do realize that there are, these challenges that need to be resolved. And hence, what the government has approached is, let us try even if we cannot untie all the knots in one go, at least we start off with the ones that are possible, work on improving the system, and take things forward as we move along, and try to resolve as much of the problems as possible. So that is the kind of approach that we're having, and I'm sure that the Education Commission is going to help us really look into this aspect and chalk out a more practical way forward for us in order to take decisions.
So, Marbanian, please.
Mr. Speaker, sir, may I know from the Minister in charge Education the reason as to why the government have not yet implemented the enhancement of gratuity for teachers of aided institutions since the pay revision of 2017.
Can you repeat the question, sir?
Yeah. May I know from the Minister in charge Education the reason as to why the government has not yet implemented the enhancement of gratuity for teachers of aided institutions since the pay revision of 2017.
Of which category again?
For aided institutions, aided college teachers.
Aided in the sense deficit or ad hoc?
Deficit.
Deficit, sir. Sir, the correct information is not available with the minister or me right now, but I've taken note of the point. This is for deficit pattern. Is mentioning. So there are so many categories and so many different levels that are there. So all this thing has to be seen, sir. So I don't have the exact information with me right now, but I'll definitely get the matter examined, sir.
Yes, please. Edelbert? Edelbert, please.
Sir, since we know the fact that teachers is our nation builders, so it is not satisfied enough just to be a casual in their employees. So may I know the mind of the government? What step taken by department to ensure regular salary for casual teachers engaged in government school?
Sir, since this question is, as I said, related to finance of the state also, hence I would take the opportunity to reply on behalf of the minister also. Sir, number one, what we need to understand that these categorization of teachers are very different, sir. The ad hoc school teachers, which is being mentioned by the honorable member, what we have to remember, sir, that these are schools started by private managing committees. It's not started by government, sir. These are schools that, say, an individual or a committee decides and they start the school on their own. It's not that the government has started them. It's not that the government has appointed teachers. Once these ad hoc schools, once these schools then start running, they realize that maybe they don't have the sufficient funds to further run the school. And hence they approach the state government that, can you help us with some kind of a grant to run our school? Not government school, run their school. And hence these teachers in the school that has been started with by the private organization, by the private managing committee, is then looked in by the government and says that, well, that's good, these people are running it well, let us help them with some kind of an additional fund. And that's when the government of Meghalaya then gives the funds as an ad hoc grant to those teachers. So what I'm trying to explain, sir, is that it is not that these salaries of these teachers or the school was started by government of Meghalaya. These were started by private managing committees. There are many such schools that are running today. There is close to 700 such schools that have applied for ad hoc grant to government of Meghalaya. And we have not been able to pass them because the earlier schools that have been given that ad hoc grant, these private schools run privately by the managing committee. And hence, the distinction of these two needs to be done very clearly. There are the government LP schools which the government runs. Hence, it is the government's duty to pay them and we are paying them salaries on time, sir. All the benefits as per government, things are going to these teachers. So this category is completely different from these ad hoc teachers. And hence we need to understand that ad hoc teachers was never started by government of Meghalaya. It is our private schools run by private managing committees, and state government is simply giving them an ad hoc grant, sir. So this is very important to understand this aspect. Number two, sir, that it is also, we have realized that yes, the fact that even though these are privately run and privately owned schools, and the government is giving them a grant to help them support their system and the institution, but the point is that yes, these teachers also deserve to get their salaries on time, to be given by the managing committee, not by the state government. So therefore, this suggestion has been in fact something that we have been working on it for a long time. That's the reason last year we enhanced the ad hoc grants to be given to these private institutes run by private managing committees. And we are working also to ensure that these grants that are given to these private institutes are also given on time, in the sense on a regular basis, so that they can then further give the salary to their teachers on time. But what the distinction which we need to make, and the honorable member and the state as a whole and the members of the house need to understand, that ad hoc teachers are private managing committee schools run by private institutes, not by government. Government simply gives a grant to them to help them run their school. So this distinction needs to be made very clearly, sir.
Shillong, Sangma, please.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I'll be asking a very simple question. Now, we know that there is a symptomatic problems and challenges faced by the department, but we have to, deal with the problems. Sir, there are teachers who have already retired and then shifted to, some of the teachers, they have already shifted to other departments for their better job. So the vacuum created by the teachers are not being filled up. So the simple question is that those teachers who are already shifted, whether they are replaced or can be replaced. So any step has been taken so far so that, the dropout of school children will not be there in the schools. Because maximum of the SSC school, even the government LP schools, you can't find the students right now because of the teachers are not present. Those teachers who are already present, whether that can be filled up, because this is the simplest way of filling up the vacuum post. So I would like to ask the government whether any replacement has been done so far as to, look into the matter at the earliest, because there are teachers, there are schools who are not having the teachers even now also. So at least that can be done at the earliest, because these are the challenge. This is not the challenges, because the teachers is already there. So I would like to request the government if those can be filled up at the earliest.
Speaker, sir. So I think the honorable member means of the government and the school teacher.
Yes, even the SSC teachers also, because I'm not telling the education department to radically change everything overnight. At least those teachers who are already not there right now, even the SSC teachers also, even the government school teachers also, sir.
Speaker, sir. So as of today, in the last 2 years, in the government welfare school in whole of the state, there are more than 1,002 vacancies there in the government welfare school. The recruitment process will take place preparation after completion of all the processes. So the government has decided, since there is a delay of all this kind for the recruitment of the already MTET pass candidate, so government has decided to send a teacher on temporary basis to all the government LP school.
May I specifically know from the Minister in charge what is the reason behind non-appointment of SSA teachers in case of retirement and resignation? Because this is a problem that in many schools on the SSA scheme where a teacher retire or resign, they have not been replaced or reappointed immediately.
Sir, we are coming back to the same point and again after one round again back because there are many SSA where some have been become vacancy due to resignation or shifting up from here and there. So, sir, government is doing all exercise, but in view of the rationalization, sir, as we said, there are many SSS schools with having very, very low enrollment, and we are doing the exercise of rationalization, and government will consider all these matters, sir.
Okay. Lastly, Celestine, Dr. Celestine, please. But please don't repeat the already asked questions.
Yeah, I will
All
not
coming back
repeat,
to the
sir.
same line.
My question is, in a situation where a teacher is supposed to go for retirement, say in the month of September, he's due for retirement, then who will take over the school in the month of October and November, and who will take over to take care of the admissions processes for the next academic year? What is the SOP, Standard Operating Procedure, for this stopgap arrangement that the Education Department is having? Because there are many schools where a teacher retires in the month of November. When it comes January, February for new admissions, there's no teacher to look after that. So that is how many schools do not have enrollment, because there's no teacher to do the enrollment work. So what is the SOP or the stopgap arrangement for that situation?
So, Speaker, so this is exceptional cases because most of the school having double teacher, triple teacher. So if the headmaster going to be retired, the assistants will always take over. And so in most of the cases, it's the fact that there are many teachers working in different schools. So if they understand that that particular teacher is going to be retired in the month of September, in the month of November, so the teachers that come on transfers. So these are the matters is being examined, sir. And if that point to be correct, as our honourable member pointed, sir, matter will examine to do the needful, sir.